Welcome! This is another video in my NIV Bible reading series. And this NIV stands for New International Version. In this video, I will be reading through Leviticus chapter 5. And the book of Leviticus is mainly a bunch of laws that the Israelites had to follow during the Old Testament times. I'll just explain this real quick, get it out of the way. So you have the Old Testament and the New Testament. In the Old Testament times, the rules were different, you know. So you may not know. So in the Old Testament times, Jesus hadn't came yet, of course. So the system that was set up is that there was a tabernacle, and there was burnt offerings and stuff to atone for sin. Like you have the sin offerings, heave offerings, a bunch of different types of offerings, like the guilt offering and stuff like that, and a bunch of other things too. But main things, you know, and stuff like that. So the tabernacle was used to communicate with the Lord, and stuff like that, and you had the burnt offerings that were done to atone for sin, as I said, various sins, and you also had various festivals where you did burnt offerings and fasted for 7 days on unleavened bread and all that other stuff, and in the New Testament times, you don't have to do that. In fact, you will not get extra merit from God by sacrificing and doing things like sacrificing animals and stuff like that on behalf of Him. When Jesus died in the New Testament times, you know, so Jesus came and died for our sins on the cross, and He was the sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice. So we don't sacrifice animals and all that stuff anymore, because what's sacrificing an animal compared to sacrificing the Son of Man, God's only Son, sacrificing a perfect man for the sake of the sins of the fallen man, or imperfect man. You know, so, and then you don't need a tabernacle because Jesus is the mediator between man and between the Father and the people. So yeah, you don't need that tabernacle anymore, and stuff like that. So, but this is the way it was in the Old Testament, because Leviticus is part of the Old Testament. You can't have the New Testament without the Old Testament, which is why it's part of our Bible. As Christians, it's part of the Bible, the Old Testament. Because without the Old Testament, you don't have the New Testament. So, just wanted to get that out of the way. I got to get that out of the way to make sure and stuff like that. But, all right, let's now get into Leviticus chapter 5. If a person sins because he does not speak up when he hears a public charge to testify regarding something he has seen or learned about, he will be held responsible. Or if a person touches anything ceremonially unclean, whether the carcasses of unclean wild animals, or of unclean livestock, or of unclean creatures that move along the ground, even though he is unaware of it, he has become unclean and is guilty. Or if he touches human uncleanness, anything that would make him unclean, even though he is unaware of it, when he learns of it, he will be guilty. Or if a person thoughtlessly takes an oath to do anything, whether good or evil, in any matter one might carelessly swear about, even though he is unaware of it, in any case when he learns of it, he will be guilty. When anyone is guilty in any of these ways, he must confess in what way he has sinned, and as a penalty for the sin he has committed, he must bring it to the Lord, a female lamb or goat from the flock, as a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement for him for his sin. If he cannot afford a lamb, he is to bring 2 doves or 2 young pigeons to the Lord as a penalty for his sin. one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. He is to bring them to the priest, who shall first offer the one for the sin offering. He is to wring its head from its neck, not severing it completely, and is to severing it completely, and is to sprinkle some of the blood of the sin offering against the side of the altar. The rest of the blood must be drained out at the base of the altar. It is a sin offering. The priest shall then offer the other as a burnt offering in the prescribed way, and make atonement for him for the sin he has committed, and he will be forgiven. If, however, he cannot afford 2 doves or 2 young pigeons, he is to bring as an offering for his sin a tenth of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He must not put oil or incense on it, because it is a sin offering. He is to bring it to the priest, who shall take a handful of it as a memorial portion and burn it on the altar on top of the offerings made to the Lord by fire. It is a sin offering. In this way, the priest will make atonement for him for any of these sins he has committed, and he will be forgiven. The rest of the offering will belong to the priest, as in the case of the grain offering. And we're going to talk about the guilt offering now. The Lord said to Moses, when a person commits a violation and sins unintentionally in regard to any of the Lord's holy things, he is to bring to the Lord as a penalty a ram from the flock, one without defect, and of the proper value in silver according to the sanctuary shekel. It is a guilt offering. He must make restitution for what he has failed to do in regard to the holy things. Add a fifth of the value to that, and give it all to the priest, who will make atonement for him with the ram as a guilt offering, and he will be forgiven. If a person sins and does what is forbidden in any of the Lord's commands, even though he does not know it, he is guilty and will be held responsible. He is to bring to the priest as a guilt offering a ram from the flock, one without defect and of the proper value. In this way, the priest will make atonement for him for the wrong he has committed unintentionally, and he will be forgiven. It is a guilt offering. He has been guilty of wrongdoing against the Lord. Alright, I ain't got nothing to say, more to say. But, so I'm just going to head out. Hold on, wait. Alright, if you need help, basically, if you have anything you want me to, if you're having troubles, spiritually, or anything like that, or if you're interested in coming to God, and all that stuff. I'm a baby Christian, at least at the time of this recording. But we can, if you have questions about what you're reading and stuff like that, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're someone looking into Christianity and stuff like that, and let me and you need materials like the student Bible I have that has context for each book and has a track reading program that'll help you be consistent. Let me know, and I will do what I can to help you. Or perhaps if this channel becomes popular, someone else, a fellow believer, may be able to help you as well. So just post a comment and let me know, and go from there. If we could talk about something, I will engage with comments as much as I can. If the channel blows up, I'm not going to be able to get to everyone, of course. But at least as of the time of this recording, barely anybody watched. But if I could at least save one person, or if God could use me to help save at least one person from these videos, all this time and effort will not have been for naught. I mean, it's all. I guess none of it is basically. No matter what, I see this as valuable doing these videos. But if I definitely could get confirmation of somebody of God, of somebody coming to God through the help of my videos, or they reach out to me and are like, hey, I need some help. Where can I get these materials? How can I get these materials? I will help you out to the best of my ability if I see it. And supposing God wants to use me to help you, I will. So yeah, just let me know, and stuff like that. All right, now I'm gonna head out.